Okay, so now this might be the coolest backdrop we've had so far. This video was submitted by one of our community members named Ian. He took a flight on a World War II Lancaster bomber that gave him a full view of the Niagara area, and the footage looks incredible. Ian mentioned it was a bit pricey to get a seat, but he said it was absolutely worth it. Thanks for sharing this with us, Ian. Today I got 3 reports to go through, 1 from Vermont and 2 from Las Vegas. It feels like Vermont has become the new state making the most noise about their tourism these days. So step aside, Governor Mills. Our second backdrop today comes from Sean, who took this great shot of the Toronto skyline. Thanks for sending this in, Sean. Before we dive in, I want to bring everyone's attention to another Canadian content creator that popped up on my YouTube page. His channel has a strong message about defending Canada and the spending power we hold with the US boycott. I wasn't kidding when I said I wanted to help promote other Canadian voices. I've never spoken to this person before, and I actually just found out about his channel today. But his message is one I think you will appreciate. So check out his channel and let him know that Guard the Leaf sent you. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. Alright, let's get into the first report out of Vermont. And thanks to everyone for sending this one over to me.
Good to see you out there as well as in here per usual. Businesses across Vermont continue to report fewer Canadian tourists. Channel 3's Abigail Sachs was in the crown jewel of the Northeast Kingdom, an area that depends on that Canadian cash.
We're just not seeing the traffic at all.
Sydney Moylan owns All About Home on Main Street with her husband. She says this time of year is when Newport is normally booming.
We've noticed a huge drop. Just people walking on the streets, they're not there. Just the energy is just not even the same. We're actually down 26% for the month of July. Definitely have not seen the Canadian tourists or the American tourists going up to Canada.
Now that's interesting. We already know that Canadian tourists aren't showing up, and we all know why. But she also mentioned that US tourists on their way up to Canada aren't showing up either. I really don't have an answer to that. I'm not sure why domestic tourism isn't supporting them. The only thought I have is maybe there are fewer domestic tourists overall. Or maybe that they're still traveling north, they're just not stopping in Vermont. I'm curious to know what you think about this. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts might be.
Newport's mayor also feels a major shift in the city.
Normally at this time of year, it would be common for us to see bicycles lined up and down our main street from Canada and to hear French being spoken in our shops and our restaurants. And this summer, almost none of that has happened.
Locals say it used to take a few trips around the block to score a parking spot on Main Street in the summertime. This year, though, it's a different story.
Yeah, there's plenty of parking.
Both Moylan and the mayor say they've heard Canadians say fewer of them are visiting due to President Trump's remarks towards their country.
And they will tell you that the primary offense is really the offensive and needlessly offensive language from our president.
Now I've got to give this mayor a little bit of credit. He's not sitting here blaming the economy, tariffs, the weather, or the exchange rate. He's actually acknowledging that Canadians are saying that the president is the issue. I've covered way too many reports where the government officials would feed their audience excuses about why Canadians are missing. Pretty much everything I said earlier. And they're always the completely wrong reasons. At least in this case, to the US viewers that he's talking to right now in this report, the real message was stated.
That is constantly disparaging Canadians and their right to self-determination and disrespecting them.
He says the ongoing tariff back and forth continues to cause confusion and instability.
And that has a huge impact in a place like Newport and the Northeast Kingdom, where we have all kinds of business relationships and manufacturing relationships that go back and forth across this border.
Moylan says while summer sales help get them through the year, she's determined to hold strong.
It's going to be a struggle this winter. We rely on the tourists in the summertime.
Unfortunately, she's right. It is going to be a struggle this winter, not just for her business, but for thousands all across the US. When I first started this channel, all the news reports are smugly saying this is just a phase, that things would pick up during the summer. Well, here we are. Labor Day is coming up, which marks the end of summer. Kids are going back to school, and vacations are ending. And the so-called rebound, it just never happened. And after summer, the US economy usually depends on the Canadian and international snowbirds to fill that gap. Well, this year, they're in for a lot of hurt. I'm just waiting for the reports asking, why did the Canadian snowbirds not come back? Where are they? Now, this next report comes out of Las Vegas, and is from their mayor. A few of you sent this over my way and suggested I watch the full video. I had a short clip on this in one of my previous videos, but this time there's a longer version.
International travel is way down. People are not coming to the United States. We have a rather large market with the Canadians. It's gone from, a faucet to a drip. Same thing in Mexico. We have a number of very high rollers that come in from Mexico that aren't so keen on coming in right now.
I'm actually a little bit impressed right now. Both Canada and Mexico are being mentioned as contributors to the Las Vegas economy. The only other prominent official I heard say that Canada matters was the CEO of MGM, where he did state that Canadians not coming down south is actually hurting their bottom line. Most of the time, Las Vegas tourist officials, Vegas YouTubers, and government personnel blame the city's decline on resort fees and overpriced food and drinks and sky-high room rates. Now don't get me wrong, those are valid reasons, but they need to state the full picture. So kudos to the mayor for pointing this out to your audience, that Canadians and Mexicans actually do matter to your economy. Now the next question is, will she end up putting her foot in her mouth for the rest of this clip?
And that seems to be the prevailing attitude internationally. Also, the economy is constricting and people are a little more wary of spending their disposable dollars when there's tremendous uncertainty in the economy. So I think that's hurting us as well. And the third thing, and we hear this a lot, where when I was growing up, Las Vegas was a great value. I mean, you could have a 49-cent breakfast at any of the hotels and 99-cent shrimp cocktail. Rooms were cheap. Food was cheap. Just come, have a good time, gamble.
Okay, I'm not old enough to remember a 49-cent breakfast in Las Vegas. That must have been a very long time ago. I only started going to Vegas in the early 2000s, and even back then, things were somewhat affordable. I know, because I was broke at the time, but I still managed to have a good, decent trip out of it. But when I went last year, most of my lunches and dinners were off the strip. That says a lot. I just didn't want to spend anything on the strip. So yes, Vegas needs to fix their prices before any domestic tourists even consider coming back. And I say domestic, because even if Vegas decides to lower their prices, I know Canadians aren't going to go back. Now for those of you waiting for the cat update, she's here. She's just being unusually quiet right now. She's sitting there staring at me while I'm staring back at her. Like literally, we're just staring at each other right now. But I got this feeling she's about to turn into a ticking time bomb of meows. And speaking of my cats, in case you missed my message in a previous video, unfortunately I won't be showing any photos of them online. With the way technology works these days, I wouldn't be surprised if the pictures could trace back. So it's just not a risk I'm willing to take. But what I can tell you is that there's actually two of them. One is a calico and the other is a tortie. I'll let you guys guess which one is the vocal cat. The other cat is not that vocal most of the time. I'd love to share photos with everyone, but I hope you understand why I can't. And I really do appreciate your understanding for this.
And that's how we started our successful climb to the top. A lot of the resorts, and I understand these are business decisions that the mayor, can't second guess, but I think they're, it's becoming less affordable to come to Las Vegas and have a good time, where every night that you were here on a long weekend, you saw a different show. Now they're seeing one show because they're so expensive. The buffets that, the 99-cent buffet. When I was in college, I worked at the Sands as a sun brunch. I think it was $2.99 for all you could eat at the Sands sun brunch. That doesn't exist anymore. So people are feeling that they're getting nickeled and dimed and they're not getting value for their dollar. I hope that those in charge of tourism in our community, throughout the community, are going to re-examine some of these business decisions and see if we can't make it more affordable for people to come in and have a good time. And that's all we want. Want them to come in, have a good time, spend their money, go home. Come back in 6 months.
Well, if you're here for the meows, I guess they're starting. Anyways, it's definitely a money-based culture in the US. I'm a bit indifferent on this report. On one hand, I'm glad they acknowledge Canada and Mexico's contribution to their economy. But not once did she mention why Canadians and other international tourists are avoiding the US, or showing any sympathy for our reasoning. It actually reminded me of my interview with R. He pointed out that the vast majority of Americans simply don't care about anything outside of their borders, sometimes not even out of their own state. So I guess I need to lower my expectations when it comes to government officials getting it. It feels like the only Americans that do get it are the ones that are following my channel. So shout out to you guys. All right, let's move on to the next report out of Las Vegas, this time from CBS.
Tourism in Las Vegas is in a big slump this summer, costing the city billions of dollars. Some are saying that could signal trouble ahead for the U.S. economy. CBS's Andres Gutierrez is there with all the details. Andres.
Good evening, Jerica. Crowds out here are smaller, so are the tips, despite some very big tabs. The fix, according to some, is simple. Stop nickel and diming folks. Is Las Vegas dying, or is it all hype?
It is dying, not only with the tourism, but with the pricing.
Alfredo De La Torre runs 2 restaurants in Las Vegas. He says customers are experiencing sticker shock.
The consumer looks at it and says, man, I'm paying this much for this. I just don't see the value.
I've said it in my previous videos, and I'm going to say it again. Las Vegas might be expensive right now, but there are still thousands of international tourists that would have gone anyways, despite the prices. When Canadians and international tourists head to the US, we're already expecting to spend money. If I went to Las Vegas for an event, or even a hockey game, I'd still be buying food and drinks, maybe just budgeting a little bit more carefully. But that's the point. If international tourists want to go, they'll go no matter the price. But right now, that's the missing piece that Alfredo needed to help his bottom line.
On the Strip,
the prices are high. They're ridiculous.
even a drink can drain your wallet.
How much did you pay for this?
$33.
The city is also feeling the squeeze. June saw an 11% drop in total visitors. Mayor Shelley Berkeley says the city has become less attractive to tourists, especially Canadians. 40% fewer Canadians have flown into Vegas so far this year.
42% fewer Canadians flew into Las Vegas this year. That's not just a dip in numbers, that's a massive chunk of revenue missing. But remember this, international tourists aren't like the quick weekend visitors from California. They stay longer, and they book more nights, and they spend more money on the hotels, restaurants, and entertainment. So losing Canadians and international tourists isn't just a small hit for Vegas. It's a major blow to their bottom line, whether they believe it or not.
We have a rather large market with the Canadians. It's gone from, a faucet to a drip.
Officials blame President Trump's trade wars and stricter immigration enforcement. Fewer visitors mean fewer tips for workers like Josefina Hurtado.
A year ago, I was making anywhere from $150 to $200 a day. Now I'm making anywhere from $50 to $60 a day.
This week, Tom Letitia wrote an op-ed in the Las Vegas Review-Journal urging the city to get back to its roots as a value destination.
The hotel properties need to pivot. They need to make an adjustment.
Letitia says Sin City can't gouge its way to long-term success.
We used to bring people to Las Vegas based on the value. Now it's how much can you charge for this? And the visitors don't like it.
So that's 50% of the problem. Unaffordable prices hurting the domestic tourism crowd. The other 50% is the international tourists that the US has lost completely. I don't want to sound harsh, but sometimes I sit back and laugh at the irony. Because a lot of these US businesses, states, and officials brought this on themselves. It's almost like that Antonio Banderas meme, where I sit there and think, yep, you did vote for this. So what's my takeaway on this video? First, Vermont is getting more vocal that their tourism industry is in real trouble. That matters more than the reports claiming, oh no, there's a slight increase in border crossings to the south. I don't care about those. Second, Las Vegas. Yes, the mayor acknowledged Canada and Mexico, but at the end of the day, it's still about money and not about respect. And third, my own personal takeaway. I need to lower my standards for the US businesses, tourism officials, and majority of their citizens. Because most of them don't get it. The only Americans who do seem to get it are the ones that are right here in this community. And to you, I say thank you. Here's the bigger picture though. Canadians are proving that we have power by keeping our money here at home and choosing where we're going to spend it abroad, which is obviously not the US. We're protecting our own economy and showing the US that they can't take Canada for granted. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe so more people can see the message, and share this video with your friends. And if you're still here, check out the other videos that are showing up on your screen now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Say hi. Now you're not going to talk? I'm holding my cat by the mic and now she doesn't want to talk. Come on. You sure? You're not going to say anything? All right. Have a good day, everyone.